We are back with head to head, which is basically two things that we have decided we're going to pit against each other against categories. This time we're doing 5 categories with 2 cities, Sydney versus San Francisco. Now here I am, San Francisco non-resident for taxation purposes, but I have got ourselves 5 categories here, which will be food, safety, work culture, public transport, and nightlife. And
some essential categories to a city.
Absolutely. We've got 2 Sydney residents here that will be pitting it up against me, and you'll also hear my thoughts from San Francisco. So,
bro, have you ever stepped foot in San Francisco by any chance?
No, never even set foot on that side of the country.
Wow.
Crazy.
So no thoughts about San Francisco from
Yeah,
me, just me. I'm the only one batting out San Francisco, really. Okay.
Non-resident as well for taxation purposes.
Okay, all right. First category, food. Let's start with San Francisco food, which will be me here, obviously.
All I'm hearing from you, Kush, have you even tried the food, brother? All I'm hearing is your work gives you free food. And all you do is just eat this because it's free.
It is free, and I packed a lunch for dinner, so my lunch is not taken by the work food. But I have gone out Saturday, Sunday, and I've been there for 3.5 months, so I've tried. So I want to start with some of the basics that we have for breakfast generally, which is like pastries, bakeries, that kind of stuff. There aren't too many bakeries, to be honest, in San Francisco.
There are too many?
No, there aren't too many.
Oh, right, okay.
I feel like there's a lot here in Sydney.
There's heaps.
Compared to San Francisco.
Like artisanal ones here, the loons of the world.
Yeah. I feel like there it's more like the old school kind of ones, like, the AP type bakery ones, like a lot of pastry based, like croissants, that kind of stuff. There is one locally though called Neighbor's Bakehouse. Shout out to Neighbor's Bakehouse in Dog Patch in San Francisco.
Shout out to all 0 people that'll be able to go there and try it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Holy shit. They go like the ube croissant, like Marsh's croissants, like
Asian inspired,
which is fantastic. I'd say one of the best in the business. But otherwise, other than that.
What about like diners, like Denny's, I think, IHOP is the breakfast place.
Wendy's, IHOP. Those are classics of the diner genre.
That's available in San Francisco?
There's a few available there. But there's no diners here in Sydney, really.
Now let's go head to head. So breakfast/brunch.
Yeah.
Anything in San Francisco we should be aware about?
No, I think Sydney has way more options than San Francisco when it comes to breakfast/brunch, which I'm definitely putting Sydney over there.
So even these fast food places not even comparing to what you could get here.
I mean, nah, it's the same. Fast food, like if you're comparing like, McDonald's breakfast.
But suck off the fast food.
Yeah, exactly.
That doesn't really count.
Sometimes it could be,
I reckon
a go-to place, for example.
Has to be San Francisco fast food, has to be better.
100%.
But let's talk about like Asian to Asian.
Okay, Asian to Asian.
You had Japanese, you had a bit of Thai?
Absolutely, yep.
Give me your thoughts.
I think they're the same.
Same.
I think there's no difference.
Look, I've been to San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
But I've been to America, and you are taking the mickey if you think they're the same. Respectfully. I went to like legitimately like 4 or 5 restaurants when I was in like Boston. Okay. Not San Francisco, granted. But these are all rated like 4.5, 4.4. I'm having a taste of the food, and the palates are broken. Is all I can say in America.
What'd you experience,
It is too sweet, and I like sweet food. It is not flavorsome. It is just garbage, respectfully.
All right. The first 2 points, let's take the garbage side. Do you resonate with that with the Asian food there?
I look, there are some places here that I will 100% go over Asian food than anything over in San. Like I haven't gotten anything in San Francisco that's like it's a must try that I'm going to go there. But honestly, here as well.
No, I'm not trusting this guy's palate. You guys saying Sydney Asian food is mid. You're out of your mind.
I don't think it's mid. I just think it's this. I think it's relatively the same.
It's comparable.
I think it's comparable. Like there's no night and day difference. Where there is a night and day difference is Mexican food.
Okay.
Mexican food here is non-existent. It's GYG, brother. That is literally it in Sydney.
Look, I'll give a shout out to my favorite Mexican joint. It is a place like near the entrance.
Okay.
Called Los Dos Hombres. Now, their Mexican food is unbelievable, but to be honest, look, I can't argue with that.
You can't. They need a border, mate. You can't. Proximity. But our proximity to Asia, surely.
Has to be higher.
Yeah.
Can we get a second opinion?
This is the problem. I'm hearing Kush, but I don't trust his opinion.
No, look, granted, like I've had Asian food here already, like a couple of times when I'm back.
Okay, Indian food, I'll trust your opinion. Have you had Indian food in America?
I've had Indian food.
Comparable?
I think like Sydney's better. I think Sydney has much better Indian food. Like the one in San Francisco, everything is like sweet Indian food. Butter chicken is aggressively sweet for me.
Yeah.
Couldn't have that. But overall, like your chicken tikkas, your koftas here, much better, I think. They're just...
To be fair, there's a lot of Asians in San Francisco.
Yes,
and California as a whole, man.
There are a lot of it. But it's Chinatown, Japantown.
There's a lot of Asians.
No, I know there's Asians there.
like a lot.
I'm not denying that there are, look, it's the tech hub of the world. Of course, the Asians flock.
Yeah.
But I cannot, in good conscience, just the experience that I've had in America eating Asian food that is supposedly rated good. Mate, that would be like a 3-star here.
I'm willing to give you fast food. I'm willing to give you Mexican. I'm willing to give you a couple other things. Asian food, I don't know if I'm willing to give you.
Sydney gets Asian food.
Okay.
All right, we'll get that. But like America, dude, I've been to like 5 different Mexican places. Each one is so good.
Yeah, I won't argue with Mexican food.
So let's just, let's bring it back. Let's say any given night, you're looking for dinner. Would you rather be looking around San Francisco or would you rather be looking around Sydney?
That's a great question. And I'm going to say Sydney. And this is one reason why Mediterranean food is also non-existent in San Francisco.
Huge.
There is one place called SF Kebabs. It's the only Mediterranean food that I found. I went there, charges 25 USD for a kebab.
Nah, you're out of your mind.
I thought maybe it'd be like a jumbo kebab or something. I look at it, it's literally your standard kebab. Here in Sydney, there are like street shops everywhere.
I could walk outside this studio and get a kebab probably.
100%. And like, there's just more here. Think about acai. Acai here is boomed into something else, you know? Pistachio sauce, Biscoff sauce. There it's at its origins.
Yeah.
The baby
the
over there.
inception of acai.
Oh, the Sydney staple is the chook. The Frangos, the El Janas, the Char Grill Charlies of the world.
You can't, like the chicken there is something else. It's incredible. Like, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, your Popeyes, all of that kind of stuff.
Fried chicken.
chook. I'm talking about a roast chook.
I haven't had roast chook.
Okay.
But then there's not much fried chook here, you know, maybe that's the differentiator.
There's so much fried chook over there, dude. Like literally.
We're going to put Popeyes against Red Rooster fried chicken?
No, I'm putting, and Red Rooster's glowed up, by the way. I'm putting Popeyes up against like your
KFCs, right?
Gammies, bruv, of the world. I don't do the normal fried chook anymore. I'm a Korean fried chook.
Even then, Popeye smashes Gammies.
Really?
Like, dude, fried chicken there's like a whole other ballpark. Like, it's another game. Burgers as well, American burger places, incredible. Way better than Sydney.
I feel like it's really hard to do this fairly. Because like, for example, the American barbecue obviously would be way better there.
Yeah.
But overall, if the question is, you'd rather be in a Sydney neighborhood over San Francisco, Sydney 1-0 food.
100% Sydney 1-0 because of the pure variety that you get.
All right.
Play on.
Next category.
Next category, safety.
Do we need to talk about this?
I mean, really, you've just talked about the Citizen app as if it was a sponsored segment for like the last 20 minutes.
Pay to survive, really, in America. It's a no-brainer. It's Sydney. And like, let me just regale you with a story. Here in Sydney, I can walk with headphones anywhere. Like my local place, even the Sydney CBD, and feel safe, like listening to music. In America, I have not put on my headphones and walked around because I want to be alert. I want to be aware of my surroundings. I think just purely on that, like Sydney's way better in terms of safety, man. 100% ahead.
I mean, yeah, this is a no-brainer. The homeless people in Sydney, they're respectful.
They're polite,
They're
bro.
polite.
Businessmen compared to the ones in America.
Yeah, they're selling the big issue, mate. That's what they're doing. They're not, you know, the fentanyl or whatever I called it the other day.
Yeah, there was one time where I was going out with a couple of workmates and we're walking down a street. And I was in the middle and there was a person to my left and right. We're walking down and then the person on my left goes, oh, that guy looks dodgy up ahead. Like, this isn't good. Like, we need to switch. So we switched and I was like, wait a second. I also don't feel safe. You go over there. Get the fuck out of here.
Bro, threw you towards the zombies, bro.
Get out of there. Not a chance. I'm from Australia. I'm the one who should feel.
Are you strapped? You got your pepper spray, no? Or the pepper gel?
Pepper gel. Let's get that right first. And sorry, I couldn't bring it, by the way, bro. I know you're asking.
You could have brought it. You didn't want to.
No, I could not bring it, all right? It is illegal to bring pepper gel. But yeah, I guess I'm strapped, but I don't want to use it. You know what I mean? It's a last resort kind of thing. It's a last resort.
Yeah.
Have you had any interactions with the homeless or not? Sorry, I should not stereotype like this. Have you had any interactions with any criminals?
No, I haven't had any interactions with a criminal, but I'm pretty sure most likely a gang, I think, when I was walking.
What?
Down, yeah. I was walking down our street and this is like in the morning by the 10 a.m. or something. And they hop out of a car and this guy looks at me, his pants are a bit, right at the bottom, don't want to stereotype it, but let's just say GTA type gangsters go up to you and he's like, yo man, where's the liquor shop? And I was like, oh, it's just there, Reno's Liquor. And he looks at me and he's like, I always loved New Zealand. And I was like,
Shout out Auckland, baby. That's where you're from.
Yeah, and I nodded my head. I was like, yeah.
And of course you corrected him, correct?
Yeah,
No. I was like, great place.
Yeah.
And he's like walking backwards, like hand clutched to his chest and was just like going back, looking me in the eye. And I was like, all right, cool.
Cool.
He was with 4 other people that are just sinister energy, may I add. And so.
You any crimes committed here, Mix?
Have I committed any crimes here?
Have you been a victim of any crimes?
No, I don't think so. No, I haven't gone robbed. I haven't gone assaulted.
Well, I haven't been a victim of any crime as well.
Have you?
No.
You got your
honestly.
wallet stolen that one time.
That doesn't count. It's like hardly a crime because that's a crime against my possessions. I'm talking about crimes against myself. You know, like.
You had crimes against yourself?
No, I haven't. That's what I'm saying.
What are you thinking?
No, it's in like I'm thinking
Like injuries?
Assaulted?
like muggings. Do you know what I'm saying? Like they've taken me, but they've like shook me up a bit.
Yeah.
The only story I know is my friend who was coming home. Basically, his youth group at the time is like in Bonnyrigg, and he had to cross this park to get there.
Yeah.
And when he was coming home, it was like 11 o'clock. So he had to walk through this park, and some thugs on like push bikes.
Yeah.
Like basically came and hounded him. Him and his mate were walking. They started grabbing his mate and then just started laying into him. Give me your wallet. Give me this. Give me that. And so he's had to, part with his possessions. But again, that's physical with the hands.
Yeah.
It's not knife crime or it's
I
not
think
gun
that's
crime.
the thing. If you're in San Francisco, you're probably worried about the guns and the actual weaponry. You know what I mean? You're not really worried about weaponry here in Sydney. I don't think so.
But I've also heard a lot of my friends have had their house broken into. That's a bit creepy.
Yeah, that hasn't happened. That's nearly happened to me, but hasn't happened.
Yeah, your one, you got the ring camera footage.
Yeah, the hooligans were sussing out every house trying to figure out which one they could break into. Thank God I have a light in my front door, sensor, so it went off and they walked away.
Dude, even that, like in San Francisco, notorious for property and car crime.
Yeah.
Like I think it's the city with the most number of break-ins, both in property and car. So like people, they give you advice. If you're driving, do not leave any valuables. In fact, you shouldn't drive. Like you should just take public transport. That's how bad it is over there.
Have you seen the Mark Rober videos?
Nah, dude, I don't know where you come up with this YouTube stuff, man. I don't know.
Yeah, these are very niche references that
So Mark
we're not
Rober,
picking up.
He's like a scientist, right? And he basically did this like experiment where you put like backpacks in cars in San Francisco, and like in them would be like a bomb, like a glitter bomb, I should say. So when they open it, like their house gets full of glitter. Very harmless prank.
Yeah.
And he would leave it there in the car for literally like 15 minutes on the streets of San Francisco. And then in 15 minutes, someone would take it, like break the window and then bounce. It's like a whole operation.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen a similar video.
Yeah, nuts.
I'm not surprised. Like it is quite common. Like even when like I take an Uber to like a street, like to the cinemas, for example, it passes a very sinister street, which you're informed to avoid. It just changes. That pocket changes. It looks like it's the Hunger Games. People are like, like zombies walking around, screams, shouts.
Have you actually seen this with your own eyes?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm seeing this. Like you don't see that in Sydney. And so like on that note, Sydney is without a doubt a safer city than
All right.
San Francisco.
Run it.
2-0, baby.
Next one, public transport.
3-0, baby.
3-0. Honestly, this might be a 5-0 sweep for Sydney. But 3-0 public transport here, I took it for granted, man. Even with a delay yesterday, by the way, which I said 2 hours, 26-minute delay.
Yeah, Kush. His train was late by 2.5 hours.
What'd you do?
I'm not fast. I just went to the city, came back, and then all the trains were cancelled because there was some tree fell on like a Linfield, which by the way is on another line from which line I'm on. On the northern line. That's the North Shore line.
Yeah, shouldn't impact you.
Shouldn't impact me whatsoever, but I'm not too fast. All the people around me were like, oh, fuck, Sydney trains. I'm like, you know what? It's not too bad. It really isn't that bad.
That's called perspective,
Yeah.
Kush. That's a
San Francisco,
well-traveled man.
Public transport is dog shit, man. It's terrible. There's like one big train line, but it's nowhere near as well connected here. Dude, in Sydney, you can go anywhere from one stop to another. Maybe a few, like turnovers. That's it. And you can get there within a reasonable time frame. San Francisco, one big train that only hits like the big stops. So you go to like major cities and whatnot. Then there's the tram. And the tram, yeah, cool. You can take that. Fuck, it's slow and it's dangerous.
Is that like the light rail?
Yeah, pretty much the light rail. And mate, people hop on there, which the very first tram I took in the morning at 7 a.m., look to my left. Oh, man.
The Fenty flop.
Dude, he's like looking out the window and you can see him like, spazzing out, looks at the ground, picks up a piece of lint and goes, yeah. And then pockets it and sits down. So
the actual system of the tram is safe. But it's just the customers and the clientele that makes it disgustingly
you don't
unsafe.
want to take a tram. Like, you just don't want to take it. The bus apparently is even worse because it's just full of homeless.
So is it an Uber? I feel like there's big car culture in America.
There is a big car.
You been in a Waymo?
I mean, yeah, I haven't been in a Waymo.
Come on now.
Is that the self-driving car?
Yeah, it looks sick.
It does look. I've got a bit of fear of the AI though, but I'll always respect.
But you're the friends of AI.
Exactly.
You know, you're please and thank yous, as you've said to ChatGPT.
I'm sure there's some connection there. They'll recognize.
Absolutely,
yes.
Pushes the customer and keep him safe at all costs.
So we got in Sydney, we've got the metro now, which is what a piece of infrastructure that is.
Beautiful.
Not to froth it, but the new line's coming out as well. So it goes from Tallawong to Marrickville,
all the way to Bankstown, I think.
Bankstown.
Yeah,
So
Bankstown Airport.
I've never been this connected to my life. Like maybe I do take a trip back to Bankstown where I saw someone defecate on the street. Maybe I run it back.
Sydney's like, it's just so well connected. Sure, there's delays. Sometimes you can't take the train. Sometimes there's track work like today, but guess what? They replace it with a bus. Perfect. Will they do that over there? What do you even replace the tram with? You can't get a bus/tram on the line.
So SF doesn't compete with metro, light rail, train, bus.
No way. Maybe New York, maybe with the subway could compete.
But even that's a bit of a shithole.
Stretch as well. Yeah, it's.
Pretty sure people shit on the subway.
Oh,
but it's convenient. Like that, at least it's connected.
Yeah, it's connected while I sit next to human feces every second trip.
Dude, I literally saw a video of like some guy dumping like a bucket of like piss and poop and stuff on another woman, just like random. There was another article recently where someone just lit someone on fire. The woman died.
Fucked. Yeah. This guy just stood there and laughed.
Yeah.
Like lit her on fire.
Ridiculous. Anyway, you're not seeing any of that on the Sydney public transport.
You're just seeing a couple of SJ swearing on the train, to be honest.
Yeah,
playing music from their phone, bro.
No, I like to listen to 142 sometimes.
So Sydney, again, miles ahead when it comes to public transportation. I will say though, like your ride shares in Sydney, way more expensive than it is in San Francisco. Way more expensive.
Right.
Trip to the airport's like 20 USD for me. Over here, it's like 60 to 70 USD.
Is that because of your distance?
No, I'm like 30 minutes away. I'm like
from both airports? You're not 30 minutes from Sydney Airport.
Oh, probably like 45 maybe.
Yeah.
You're telling me 15 minutes adds $55?
No, it shouldn't.
But you're taking probably $50 worth of tolls to get there.
Yeah,
to be fair.
But I will say like the ride share there, I would say it's better.
Better.
San Francisco.
3-0.
3-0. Nightlife. This is where it gets a little contentious. So we've famously said before, at least both of you famously have said, Sydney nightlife is garbage. One of the worst globally. Do you still stand by that?
Yeah, I still stand by it.
Really? Nothing's changed?
Nah.
No, George Street, you're a renowned.
I'm a big George Street guy, but that's until
George Street.
That's until what, 11?
George Street.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Between Town Hall Station and World Square, mate, it pops off until 12 p.m.
So just remind me again, why do we think the Sydney nightlife is bad?
Because it closes early.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do.
Yeah.
The options are drink, leave a pub at 2:00, and then, go find your own way home.
So what options do you want?
The options are so limited. I was thinking about this the other day with my partner, right? Like, because I think if we lived in any other city, we'd probably go clubbing, I don't know, once a month because it's so convenient. It's like not a big deal, right? You just go out and go home, whatever. Here, it's such a big palaver of like, oh yeah, let's go to this club. Fuck, it'll cost $50 to get in.
Yeah.
As Rose said, when you're done, how are you going to get home? You're going to have to pay like 100 something for an Uber or wait like an hour for a bus. I live like 40 minutes away.
If you lived in the city, it'd be
maybe even still like maybe it's a bit better, but still the options are quite limited.
No, it's literally the same places all over again. Just like you just run the same circuits, you run the same pubs, like nothing's really opening. There's no new joints. Like there may be one every couple of months, but like, I feel like in these poppin' cities, new places are opening, new places are being discovered.
Like things are far from each other, like walking distance. Not everything's walking distance, so it's a bit inconvenient. It's like a handbrake on your night, bro.
Yeah.
So what options would you want apart from like drinking? Like, is it like?
Am I doing a survey for the city of Sydney?
No, I'm curious because like you say options, but like I don't know what you mean. Like nightlife to me is maybe bars, some nightclubs, maybe some arcade games, whatever.
All of that I would love to see more of.
Yeah.
In a more concentrated area.
So for example, Tokyo, right? Everything's open late. So whatever you want, whatever you fancy, it'll be open. If you want to go to a cafe, if you want to see some pet some animals, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
Want to play some video games, arcade games, drink, shop, I don't know. Things are just open.
Okay.
Here, go at fucking 8 p.m. What's open besides pubs?
Yeah, okay. Look, San Francisco is kind of similar. Like
really?
Pubs and clubs. Sure, there's probably more clubs that are open late, granted, but I actually don't think many people go purely because of the safety factor. And the reason why I say is because the San Francisco CBD is terrible.
Really?
Like if we were just comparing CBD, Sydney CBD is way better than San Francisco CBD.
Do you call it downtown? Is it downtown in the US?
I think so. I think they just call everything downtown, bro. You live like further down, like, oh, you live downtown? I'm like, yeah, whatever, downtown. But what I've heard is like the nearby areas like South Bay, East Bay, Oakland, they have a really good nightlife apparently. Oakland's also notoriously one of the unsafest areas.
That kind of makes it fun. You know, it's like when King's Cross was dangerous. It was great nightlife there. You need a little bit of danger to have a good nightlife, I feel.
Yeah. Look, I've been to a couple of like pubs and like done a pub crawl and stuff. They're fun, and I think that's a similar experience. Maybe I'm enjoying them because it's in a new city and like that feeling of something new is there, which is I think what you want from Sydney City. But honestly, I'd say it's the same. I actually don't think there's too much of a difference. Like sure, it's open a bit later, but I don't think people stay too late because of the safety factor.
I don't know.
I mean?
I can't be giving this to Sydney conscious. I want to bat for San Francisco here somehow. Give me something.
I honestly like they opened a new Holy Moly, which is Australia.
Is Holy Moly global?
Well, it is now.
Like Holy Moly or the equivalent?
No, it's Holy Moly.
Jeez.
Smell the same.
It's the same thing from Newtown. They just transported it to San Francisco.
That's actually outrageous.
That shows you how dire San Francisco must be then.
To be fair, San Francisco has been like destroyed by COVID. So like a lot of places shut down, you know, safety went cooked. So they're bringing it back now.
Yeah.
But like, honestly, in terms of like places, the variety of places, I think it's very similar to Sydney and what options you have.
Give it a draw. Give it a draw.
We'll give it a draw. Okay. Last one, we're moving more to the corporate side. Work culture. All right. Sydney work culture. Oh man, it is beautiful. I think it is beautiful. You know, lots of banter. I think you make good friends. In fact, some of my best friends are from the office, I'd say. What do you guys think of the Sydney work culture?
I think it's laid back. Feels like it would be more chill than the US.
Yeah, I think the same. I think Melbourne is more chill than Sydney from what I've heard, but still Sydney compared to in general, unless you work in specific things like investment banking or consulting, you're chill pretty much.
I mean, most companies offer here a 2-week shutdown period in like the December to January.
I won't call that a positive.
Yeah, that's for me a massive
My
negative.
annual leave is negative right now and I'm not enjoying it.
Well, no shutdown period in the US, only
good.
Christmas Day and New Year's Day. That's it. That's all you get. I don't know if it's a good thing, man.
That's how you hear, mate.
Nah, I don't know. Annual leave, you want to talk about annual leave? If you're lucky, you get a company that offers you good annual leave
Is it
benefits.
PTO?
It's like maximum 10 days, sometimes less, 5 days in a year.
Really?
Yeah.
How does anyone take holidays?
They
That's
don't.
ridiculous.
They work. That's so
Or is it
overall.
can go unpaid?
No, some company. It depends on the company. Otherwise, it'll limit you. That's it. 5 days maximum.
Jesus.
Is that do you know the legal requirement? Because here it's 4 weeks per year accruing.
To answer your question, Ro, California law does not require employers to provide paid or unpaid vacation time to employees.
That's crazy.
So you're guaranteed 0 hours of paid leave.
Potentially.
It's up
Yeah.
to their discretion.
It's literally up to the discretion. And that's employers can set a reasonable cap on vacation benefits. If you're just comparing leave, dude, Sydney is far better.
What about healthcare?
I think this is quite obvious. Sydney.
No, I think you get better healthcare.
Private health,
Private
I'm talking
healthcare,
about.
100%.
Like provided by work.
They all pay for work healthcare.
Oh, okay.
Like
Again-
you get the best coverage, I reckon.
you still
not?
have to pay for it, yeah. And it is definitely cheaper than me paying it outright.
What do you mean you have to pay for it?
Like I pay a monthly fee for
To contribute to your private health.
Exactly. For
Oh,
my
I
salary.
swear US companies pay
Yeah,
for
they give it to you for free, but
Yeah.
you're getting actually conned. Maybe because you're from Australia and you're not a legal tax resident,
No.
as you clearly state.
So basically,
IRS, listen to that one.
Most American companies, when I worked for an American company, I was living here and they gave me free health insurance.
yeah, it all depends on the company and how much they're paying for you. Essentially, if you're not, then you're fucked. That's why there's so many like homelessness and that kind of stuff. Healthcare is like cooked there overall.
Yeah, but we're talking about corporate. Now,
Corporate.
here's what I've experienced with Americans, right? When I went overseas to like sales kickoff when I was working for LogMe in the American company,
Yeah.
I think like they just love work. Like their whole identity is work and what they do. And so I was with like a bunch of salespeople and all they could talk about
Yep.
was their sales that year. Like that's the only conversation. It's like, are you crushing it, dude? It's like, yeah, I'm crushing it. Like that was the chat.
Working with jocks, are we?
No, like legitimately, our salespeople, that's how they are. But like they just took so much pride. Like it's like, hey, how are you? Like, what do you do? And then they would just be, if they worked in sales or if they worked in, marketing or if they worked in law, they'd just be so proud of it, which is maybe one good thing. Like here, I feel like no one really cares. Like if I ask you, like, what are you doing? You're like, oh, I'm in operations. I'd be like, all right, sick. tell me something
Was
funny.
you on the weekend?
Yeah, nah, there, you're so right. I have talked to so many people at lunch break. They're talking about their work and I'm like, shut the fuck up. I don't want to talk about work during lunch. Like, it's so annoying. I found a group of people who are like that as well now. Just don't want to talk about, which is nice. But before, man, the first month, the amount of times people were dropping, how was your weekend? What are your plans for the weekend?
Yeah.
You know, the classic 1-2s and then, you know, how's work going? And then it's like, oh.
Shut up.
Dude, there was a time where I completely zoned out and then someone kept going like, you know, the parts in the movies where it's just ringing and it goes, Kush, Kush. It happened. And I was like, what were you saying? I had no idea.
I think they're also more cutthroat. Like they care about like social climbing heavily. So it feels like a big culture of, I don't know, like you got to boast to get noticed by your managers. And
It's more of a dog-eat-dog world, you reckon?
a bit more cutthroat, but also like you just have to like show your work. Whereas here, I feel like in the companies that I've worked at, you kind of let the work speak for itself a little bit.
So show, don't tell here.
That's exactly
US, it's tell, don't show.
Tell, don't show. You just got to keep boasting like I did this. I was responsible for this.
Is that why LinkedIn is such a cesspool? Because that's the US culture.
Yeah.
Everyone's saying, I got this, I got this.
I received advice on the first day and he was asking about like my level of work and was like, look, piece of advice, record everything that you do. And he gave me like this template and I was like, dude, like I did some of this stuff in Sydney.
Yeah.
But this was like to the specifics. He was like, you need this to get promoted. I'm like, I just started. I'm not looking to get promoted, brother. I'm looking to explore the city.
Just want to settle in a little bit.
I'm looking to buy my bed from IKEA first of all, which is done. But that you're right. Work culture there is very grind. I've seen people work 9 to 9 p.m., like 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. I think thankfully my team's a little bit chill. It's kind of nice. But work culture, Sydney's way ahead. Even do the parts where I can just walk up to someone else's desk, just have a little banter, have a little bit of talk. There was a guy I was talking to at the office for like I was around 8 minutes in and I was like, we're vibing. This is nice. And then he goes, look, man, sorry, I got to get back to work. And I laughed. I was like, nice. No, he turned around and went back to work.
Yeah,
like, he actually started doing work.
Slap him on the head, brother.
It's
Relax.
a fucking joke. So Sydney, 5-0 it appears.
No, 4-1.
4-1. We've got a draw in there.
4-1.
Actually, no, 5-1.
5-1. We got a draw in there.
5-1. And look, if I'm...
So I assume you're glad to now be in San Francisco, given how...
I just want to talk about one thing, very dear to me. Cinemas.
Yeah.
my God.
America wins by a mile, dude. The battle pass, we've talked about it. So if we were going to add that, it'd be a 5-2, which I think...
But really 6-5, because that's how important cinema is to you. It's worth 5 points.
Right.
So
There you
San
go.
Francisco, well done.
Well done.